Good morning, Monday morning, heading now to Tel Aviv to meet a company called TipRanks, to meet with the CEO, catch up, hear what's up, get him on camera. After that, meeting Tel Aviv University to talk about a potential collab over there, and then the absolute highlight of the day. And finally, I mean, this has been a meeting that we've rescheduled probably 20 times, and it is a few years in the making, no exaggeration, meeting Yasmin Lukatz from ICON. You know, it's funny that the name of our organization is ICON because she's become somewhat of an icon. I mean, she's on the Israeli Shark Tank's TV show, and she's just probably the most connected person in tech that's in my circles. So I'm super pumped to meet her, and a couple of other meetings. And then tonight I'm giving a lecture or a session with Touro University, California at 10 p.m. Israel time about social media 101. Going to be a jam-packed day. Super pumped. Here we go. All right, so usually when I meet with startups, there's always a story, right? That's how things happen. There's always a story, but this story is a unique one, okay? So, I don't know, how long ago? A couple of months ago? I don't even know. No, how did we originally? All right, anyway, long story short, I connected with a woman. Oh, it was at our crowd. Yeah. It was at our crowd. I get off the stage with Nas, and a woman, like, there was crowds, because it's Nas Daily, and so, like, everyone was like, oh, Hillel, oh, Nas, whatever, fine. And then this one woman comes over and she goes, hi, my last name is Fuld. And I was like, wait, what? So it turns out that, by the way, it's Shanna. Shanna. Yeah, God, Shanna. All right.
Confusing.
So Shanna, you could come in, by the way, and say hi if you want. You add color to the frame. So Shanna. Shanna Fuld. Okay, so we were like, okay, we need to have a cup of coffee because our last name's Fuld and we're definitely related. So we had coffee. You met with her a couple of weeks ago, and we were schmoozing about her and Israel, and she tells me the company she's working at, TipRanks, and I'm like, I know that name. What's the name of your CEO? And she's like, Uri. I'm like, I look up on Facebook. I'm like, oh, me and Uri go way back. We never met. So I've sent you probably, I don't even know how many CVs over the years. I've heard of TipRanks. Now I heard about it more, but you know, I've been kind of following from the background this company, and now we're finally sitting. And I have to say, I'm a little bit blown away because you're breaking a lot of rules. For starters, you're profitable. So you're like, that's already like 99% of startups don't even, but I'm jumping to the end. Let's start from the beginning. What's your name?
So my name is Yuri Gruenbaum.
Was it Yuri?
I tend to call myself Yuri because in the US people find it difficult to say Uri.
I hear you. I'm getting everyone's names wrong today.
No, you got my name right, but I learned to live with the fact that people that speak English call me Yuri.
Okay, all right. So we'll go with Uri then.
Okay, let's go with Uri.
Okay, so Uri, let's before TipRanks, real quick. What'd you do before?
So in the army, I used to fly drones for.
Just in case I didn't like you before. Now do you know that I'm a big droney, or you don't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I have like a collection of them at home.
Oh yeah.
I have like a drone museum at home.
No, but I'm talking about old school. I'm talking about drones that are in the size of planes, and you actually need to fly them, not click on a digital map.
You're making fun of me. He's taking a hit. I'm like, all right, fine, make fun of me, fine.
And so I did it for a few years for the private sector as well. Cool. I worked for companies such as IAI, the Israeli aerospace industries and aeronautics. I used to fly it all over the world. Cool. To look for even, oil drillings, to look for leaks in the ocean and stuff like that all over Africa.
Wow.
And one of the things that we used to do a lot in IAI was to talk about investments. That's when I became familiar with the concept of investing your money in the capital markets. It was like the daily discussion.
Well, I mean, there's no direct connection between drones and it just happened to be what you discussed over lunch.
Yeah. Not at all. It was just, I guess, the main hobby that people had over there.
Okay.
And fast forwarding, I completed my studies in computer science in the Hebrew University. And as I worked as a software engineer as a project manager at a company about 8 years ago, I came across this recommendation made by a very famous Israeli analyst.
Okay.
And he gave 5 reasons to invest in Tata Motors, which is an Indian stocks. And, my thoughts were, he's smart. He knows, that's what he does for a living.
Okay, let me just throw in another, sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, you're a highly intellectual person. And the fact that you, quote unquote, blindly follow this analyst, think about people that don't have any, quote unquote, sophisticated opinions on the markets. They totally blindly follow these people. And then what happened next?
And so that turned out to be a pretty bad investment. And half a year later, my wife logged into our bank account. She never does that. And she was like, holy we have we just lost.
Keep that out. Our kids watching.
We just lost half of your bonus on Tata Motors. Why?
Worst.
And I didn't have a good answer other than I just followed an advice of this outspoken analyst, and my assumption was that he knows his job just like I know my job. And
But the thing is, though, I'm sorry again for interrupting you, but the thing is like this: that individual, that analyst, right? He put out that article because he needed to write something that day, but he actually has zero accountability. Okay, so he gave you a bad recommendation. Screw you! You just lost all your money. I don't care.
Exactly. And the websites today, they're motivated by iViews. They don't care if the recommendation is good or not. Their business model is advertisement. That's
you see
all
that,
they
by
care
the way,
about.
in the political world, big time. It's just click. Everybody click.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's true, if it's accurate, if it's just clickbait.
Yeah, they only care about how they're monetizing their platforms.
Right.
And what I did, surprisingly, because usually I'm a lazy guy, but I sat down and I started Googling his name to see what else he recommended over the years. And it took me a few hours, and I found more than 100 articles where he posted recommendations to buy or to sell stocks. And it was very tedious, and I realized that he was wrong most of the time, even though that was in 2012, and after a very long bullish market.
And he's a big respected name.
Yeah, I mean in Israel, but when you look in the US, you have so many experts, all the analysts.
The market's doing well, and this guy's recommendations going
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly. And unfortunately, I took part of his recommendations by following his advice.
Yeah.
And then, the first thing I did was to see how come there is no system that collects all the advice that people are putting online and measuring it. I mean, there's definitely a need for something like that.
Unbelievable.
But not only was there no system holding financials accountable, there's no system that will even give you access to any aggregated, data set of what people are saying.
Let me simplify this for 1 second, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
In the, let's call it the journalism world, right? It used to be that we would follow the New York Times, CNN, publications.
Right.
Today, people follow people, right? Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. That's something that's a shift that's already happened.
Right.
The financial world hasn't really followed suit, meaning, yes, there are all these people, but if I want to follow a person, an expert, and see, objectively, empirically, what is their actual track record?
Right.
I want to follow that person and their investments, get actual data on how successful they've been in terms of their recommendations, and follow or not follow their advice. There's no platform for that.
Right, and not only there is no platform for that other than TipRanks today, but before that there was even a misleading platform called II, which is Institutional Investor, a pretty big publication for institutional investors, and they used to rank analysts based on where they worked. So if you were at Goldman Sachs, you got a higher score. If you made more money, you'd get a higher ranking, and it was simply not data driven.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
Okay, so TipRanks, when did you start it?
So we started it in mid-2012 with a concept of creating a financial accountability engine that is based on...
Love that, by the way.
Thank you.
Financial accountability engine. That's a fantastic name.
And so that is based on NLP algorithms where we analyze...
Natural language processing. Talk to normal people.
A lot of buzzwords. So we have algorithms that can read anything that is published online, and we're analyzing tens of thousands of textual articles on a daily basis. If it is financial news, it is social media, financial blogs, SEC filing, reports that the banks are producing and are sharing with us today because they understand that we have a real impact on this industry.
So you're taking all this textual data and you're basically translating it, or what's the word when you...
Visualizing it, maybe.
I like it. Visualizing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was going for a different way. I like that, though. But you're visualizing into actual consumable...
research tools.
Okay, and so I, as an investor, by the way, I could be a very advanced investor, I could be a pretty newbie investor, can say, okay, this person clearly has a track record, I want to follow them and their investments and go all in.
Yeah, either follow them. Let's look at the simple scenario. You don't need to follow them, but you just, you went on CNBC and you saw that Goldman Sachs just recommended a stock that you don't recommend. Run his name at TipRanks, see if he's any good. You just, you just read a blog where someone is giving you 5 reasons to dump Apple. Look him up at TipRanks, see, what is his track record.
You guys are like the anti-fake news in the financial world.
Exactly, that's exactly what we are.
Love it. Okay, so now, for the sake of the ADD of my viewers, all right, so I get the concept. How big is this company?
So, and we have, in terms of employees or in terms of the business, so we have 41 employees, 39 in Israel, 1 sales representative in Russia for CIS, and 1 in APAC that is located in Melbourne.
By the way, I have to say something. When I went to Melbourne, I said I'm going to Melbourne. People are like, it's Melbourne.
Yeah, okay.
They're like super. I said Melbourne. They're like Melbourne. I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, all right. So you have one in Melbourne, one in Russia, and 39 here.
Yeah, mostly R&D here.
You guys raised capital. You got to talk about how much you raised?
Sure.
How much you raised?
So we raised $9.5 million so far.
Which is in the fintech world. You consider yourself fintech?
Small, yeah.
That's not money. That's like basically like chump change, and you're profitable.
Right.
How do you explain that?
So we never spent too much money. We grew organically. We were actually very lucky because one of our first investors was the former governor of New York and the AG of New York, who in other circumstances could have had been the president of the U.S., Mr. Elliot Spitzer. And when he joined us, he loved the concept of financial accountability. That was one of the main regulations he passed as a regulator. And when he joined us, we got a lot of media visibility. We were all over the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and on CNBC. Everybody were talking about technologies that bring in transparency to the markets.
Love it.
And it made a big splash.
And one of the cool things that at least I think is cool is when I asked you about like specific quote unquote what I thought might have been competitors, you're like, oh, they're our partners. Can we talk about some of those? Or
sure.
Like I said eToro, you're like, yeah, eToro, we work together, We
love them. Yeah.
Love it. Seeking Alpha, like the potential collaboration here, and I love Seeking Alpha. Ali Hoffman's been on the vlog many times.
I love Seeking Alpha as well.
So like so the point is it's listen, there are competitors. Like, in theory, Bloomberg is a competitor, not really, but point is there's really synergy here with a whole bunch of different players. Do you guys have an API? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have an API that is being used by some of the biggest financial institutions around the world, anywhere from dozens of hedge funds, but the biggest players are probably Nasdaq, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, Santander. All the banks in Israel use our data and make it available to their own users, and that is great. That's actually how we started. That's a funny story. In 2013, we went to the biggest fintech event called Finovate, and we were awarded as the best of show over there. And I think that the term fintech was only coined, back then about 6 or 7 years ago. And when we came back to Israel, all the banks suddenly had innovation managers, but they didn't know what fintech was.
Right.
And they were like, okay, there's this new player from Israel. We need to onboard them.
Beautiful.
So suddenly we were on all the banks in Israel.
Speaking of marketing, it's a good segue actually. Two things to say. Number one, I love your strategy. What you told me, you'd think there's like the hardcore fintech technology companies, like all about like, funnel optimization. You guys are going all in on the content thing. You guys are going to be the Red Bull of the finance world.
Right, but accountable content, that is a very different concept.
Love it. Okay, so that's number one. I love that. Which leads me to my second point, which is you guys are hiring like crazy.
I don't know. I think we're not hiring enough. But yeah, we expect to grow by almost 50% this year.
What are the main positions that you're looking to hire?
R&D, back-end developers, people that have experience in NLP, computational linguistics, but also content writers, people that are familiar with the capital markets.
Beautiful.
One of the things that we want to get into is videos. We want to have daily segments, commentary about the markets,
So let me just say one thing. Usually when I finish my interviews with people, I say to people, okay, how do people contact you, right? If somebody's hearing this and they want to apply for a job, I'd ask you for your email, but I'm not going to do that. You know why?
Why?
Because they have a situation in this company that anybody who sends them a CV that they end up hiring gets an iPhone.
Whatever they want. An iPhone is one thing.
So
you could get it.
There is no way I'm giving you his email. Send me. No, okay. Jokes aside, listen, all these Americans, content people move to Israel that are great at content. A lot of them understand finance, are looking for jobs. I sent you my CVs already, but honestly, no jokes aside. Now, iPhone, no iPhone. You should apply because if I get, I don't know, probably 10 CVs a day from people saying I'm looking for content positions. If you get the financial markets, or if you don't, research them because it's not rocket science. But if you're good, if you write well, you get content, apply. I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
Definitely.
And developer, same story. I mean, yeah, just feel free to just like write in the subject from Hillel so I can get my iPhone. But listen, dude.
Mention Hillel, the odds are going to go up.
I'm just kidding. Dude, listen, way long overdue. We should have done this many years ago. So thank you for that. I keep saying Shanna. I don't know why I keep saying Shanna. I guess I never heard the name Shanna before. Okay, anyway, bottom line is if I could do anything to help you in any way, I love it. I love listen, I think it's super cool that like I'm like hanging out here 20 meters away from here for the past 10 years and I never even like met you. I never I'm discovering new companies that are making like big waves all the time in this ecosystem.
Well, hopefully now we can meet more frequently.
Absolutely. And if I could do anything to help in any way, shape, or form, you know where to find me.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Just keep doing what you're doing. Love it.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Thanks
and
for
I appreciate you coming over.
Absolutely. Thanks. I made it to Mitos. I got parking. Either I got really lucky or I got really stupid and I'm going to get a parking ticket. But the sign here is super ambiguous. Very hard to know if it's permitted to park there or not. So pray for me. Heading out to Mitos to meet Yasmin from ICON, who, like I said before, is just one of the more impressive women entrepreneurs, one of the more impressive entrepreneurs, period. I have heard so much about, never met her, but super pumped to meet her. Surprise visit. What did you get? What? From these guys. The Superfi guys.
Something just like yours.
What?
But less, hey, it's also Joby, but I mean much cheaper.
Wait, for you? You're starting a vlog?
Yeah, I'm starting
Dude,
a
this
vlog.
guy's got all the cool toys. Harman, look at this guy. What's up, Michal? Congrats.
Thank you.
What's in the Apple bag?
Oh, lots of nice stuff for you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wait, hold on one second. Let me show the
Renewed
t-shirt. Okay, what's the difference?
Better than ever.
2.0. Okay. What else we got here?
Something we like.
Oh, how'd you know? How'd you know I like this?
We talked
Shadow.
about it.
Oh, you did?
First
Shadow.
time, yeah.
Love it.
Another sticker pack.
Beautiful. Superfly stickers. And drum roll, please. AirPods 2.0, baby. Love it. Hold on, put this away one second. Let me turn this
Hey,
camera
there's
off.
Something else.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, what's something else? What else we got?
Something personal for me. For the AirPods.
Get out of here. Oh, this is super cool. Wait, so it's like a keychain for AirPods?
Yeah.
Waterproof and drop-proof case for... Dude, thank you.
Really
Love it. I am starstruck. First of all, wait, before we talk about starstruck, I am in food coma because you didn't taste the steak, but that steak was bananas. But all right, here's the bottom line, okay?
I want to make a public service announcement.
Disclaimer.
A public service announcement
Okay.
for all females in
What?
high tech
What about males?
that are planning to meet with Hillel for lunch. Come with makeup because you might end up in a vlog.
Okay, all right, that's a good disclaimer. But here's the thing. First of all, you should have known that because I don't do anything. But here's the thing, okay? And I started the meeting with this, and I'm just going to say it right now. Like, you know, I've met by now. I'm sure you have met I've met thousands of people in tech over the past 10 years. There's almost nobody that has a perfect reputation. Everyone always has someone that doesn't like them, and especially, you know, the whole Fargen thing. It's not a thing. Meanwhile, for the past 3-4 years, maybe more, I've heard your name from hundreds of people saying to me, you must meet Yasmin. You absolutely must meet Yasmin, and I'll tell you why, by the way. Not only because you're a good person, honestly, because you're me at scale. That's what you do. You live to help entrepreneurs. That's the bottom line. You're a massive bridge between Israel and Silicon Valley. Who is Yasmin? Talk to me.
It's a big question.
Sit back, relax, enjoy your tea. This is very casual. It's all good. Who is Yasmin?
One, don't believe everything you hear.
All right.
I don't know if it's all true.
Well, I just proved it for myself over the past hour because I confirmed everything I believed. But yeah, go on.
I think, you know, what I care about, and I care about helping other people.
Good posture. I look short next to you. Yeah, go on.
You know, I wake up in the morning and I want to find ways to help other people, and I want to make an impact. I told you about this research I read by Professor Jennifer Acker that speaks about happiness and what makes you happy and how that evolves over time and over age, and how when you're like in your 20s it's about action, and when you're in your 40s it's about impact. So I'm in my 40s and it's about impact, it's about community, it's about helping other people where I care most, and which is here in Israel.
So I just became 40, so I don't know
Happy
if I
birthday.
fit. Well, not just in November, but I don't know if I'm in my 40s yet. But somehow, I thoroughly, fundamentally agree with that. And the truth is, people find it very strange in the tech world, in the business world in general. Like, what do you mean you don't want something? What do you mean you want to help just to help? It's very strange to people.
Well, so in ICON we call it a paid forward community, and what we ask you is that when you get something from the community that you pay forward and that you help someone else
Love it.
In whatever way you can, whenever you can.
But I have to say something, and this is another thing that I'm sure you get all the time. People, oh, so Hillel, you're in the business of good karma. And I'm like, no, I'm in the business of good business. Because when you help others win, you end up winning. And I believe, you know, at the end of the day, are you guys considered a nonprofit?
Yes, we consider
So you're a nonprofit. So you're not per se like building $1 billion business, but you are facilitating.
We're building many billion-dollar
So I was
businesses.
about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. You're facilitating many billion-dollar businesses,
Yes.
and that's the truth.
Yes.
Another thing that people told me about you, Yasmin, is that you are the most connected person in the world. You have the
Yeah.
most incredible Rolodex. That's what I heard. And that's why, like, it was really important for me to meet you because I know you're rubbing shoulders. You're on Shark Tank.
So
you're like,
explain how come I didn't know you until now. My Rolodex was missing.
Because I'm nobody.
One big component.
no, it's not big. I mean, I'm on a diet, but I'm trying to get smaller. But no, but the truth is, like, how many times did we try to, like, did this meeting get rescheduled? Like, the truth is,
But
I
that's
thought,
because you're busy.
no, it was both of us. But no, the truth is, like, people said to me, like, Yasmin, and again, I think, me on a much smaller scale, my ability to get, to get a meeting with Mark or to get a meeting with the chief medical officer of Apple, who I met a couple of months ago. Like, why was I able to do that? Because I'm not going to mention a name because you for sure know him, but he's an Israeli entrepreneur that I've been helping over the years who just signed a deal with Apple, and he knew I wanted. So boom, right? It's all about helping others win, and then everyone wins.
I think what really works for us is that we are trying to leverage the community to help other people. It's not for our own good. And then,
Right.
what everything that we do at ICON is to help other entrepreneurs, and I think that helps.
Perfect segue. It's like we planned this thing. It's amazing because I was going to say something. Like, the thing with you is, and no one's perfect. So this is your disadvantage, this is your one downfall, is that you're very humble. You do not like to be, I'm not going to say the spotlight, because you don't have to be in the spotlight, but people...
Especially when I don't have any makeup on.
Oh, right, forget the makeup. But not enough people know who you, I mean, they know the name. Not enough people know you. And I think we got to fix that, in my humble opinion. But again, not because you need to be in the spotlight, because your activity at ICON. Tell me about ICON. What is ICON? Sell me on ICON.
So we're a nonprofit. We've been active for the past 5 years. We are a community of people that are passionate about Israeli high-tech and innovation. And we're based in Palo Alto and Silicon Valley. We have 3 kinds of member. Israeli tech entrepreneurs based here in Israel, based in Palo Alto, based anywhere in the world. Partners and American VCs and corporate executives in the US of companies that could be an acquire, a partner, or a customer of a startup, which is pretty broad. It could be Gap, Sephora, and could be the more technological companies. And what we try to do is with different programs create opportunities for those 3 groups to do things together. It's like I like to say, we put you in a room together and you make the magic happen.
You don't play basketball, do you?
No.
You know what an alley-oop is?
What?
Alley-oop?
Nope.
So an alley-oop, you've seen the NBA commercials where one player throws the ball up in the air, the other guy catches and dunks it.
Okay.
So alley-oop. You're alley-ooping it, comes the entrepreneur and slam dunks it.
Yes.
But you're alley-ooping. You're bringing me, you're getting me in the door.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Yes.
Got it. All right. Now, we have to give a shout out, because one of my favorite people in the world, I don't know what his official kind of role or title is in ICON, but I know he was very involved, is Oren Zev.
Yes.
Is he on the board? What's his...
Owen is our co-chair. Owen has been active from day one. He was part of the group that brainstormed ICON together, joined our steering committee. We asked him to be the chair of ICON, co-chair together with Adam Nash. We like it that it kind of signifies the bridge between the Israeli and the American communities when we have one co-chair who's Israeli and another co-chair that's American.
Oren Zev, as I said to you before, is somewhat of he's an enigma. He's a phenomenon. I don't know percentage-wise if he's top 5% global investors in terms of returns. His numbers are just banana. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Midas touch, yes.
What? It's unbelievable. And zero ego. Zero. Just like a super mensch. It's unbelievable. So between you and him and the rest of the people involved in this, you guys have really good DNA. So which probably does explain your success. But the bottom line is like this. You do a lot of things. It's that bridge, it's there. We also have this big conference tomorrow, but this is going to go live after the conference, so you'll hear about it for next year. But if people want to learn more about how they can participate in ICON or just learn more about the organization, maybe support you, maybe because you're a nonprofit, you don't have investors, you have donations.
Yes, exactly.
So if somebody's watching this, they want to get involved.
Well, just go on our website. It's iconsv.org. There's a lot of information there about how to get involved. If you qualify to be a member, so if you're an Israeli entrepreneur of a tech startup, if you're a partner in an American VC or director and above in every company that could be a partner, acquire, or customer of a startup, reach out. You can be a member.
All right, listen, Yasmin, I know I had to twist your arm, but was it so bad?
Sorry.
We had a good conversation, right? It's not so bad, right?
Yeah, but I don't have any makeup on. I'm not going to look nice.
Look how nice you look. Yasmin, listen, here's the bottom line. I say this in every interview with this, but now this is like on steroids. With the following sentence, if you remember one thing from this meeting, remember the following sentence, okay?
Okay.
Pay attention.
Yes. You know what people are going to, you know what people are going to do when they hear it?
What?
They're going to think that they have the speed on 1.5.
By the way, I said to her, I'm like, her brain, like Yasmin's brain, like 150 miles an hour, which I love, by the way, because my brain is the same thing, but are a little bit slower. But here's my one call to action from this entire meeting. Whatever I can do to help, anything from, I told you, media, that's easy, it's low-hanging fruit, but intros in Silicon Valley, I know you know everyone, but if there's some companies that I'm involved with or that are good friends that I can help you with, I don't know if you have a relationship with Andreessen, I'm happy to connect you with Mark, he's a friend, anything, I don't know. You know your challenges, we didn't really talk about your challenges enough. We talked a little bit about it, but bottom line is, I'm glad I was able to twist your arm enough to get on camera, but really, anything I can do to help, I love what you're doing, and you definitely did not disappoint despite my high expectations. But take me up on my offer and let me know I can help.
And I think that this is the secret sauce. This is what makes ICON work, is because it really takes a village. And when everybody's doing it and everybody feels like you do, together we can make the Israeli high tech, the amazing, awesome Israeli high tech, even better than what it is.
And the important thing here, Jonathan's calling you. The important thing is that you have no skin in the game. You're not monetizing this, and that's where all the magic happens.
I have skin in the game. I want Israel to be better. That's my skin.
Amen. And that is a perfect way to end the interview. Thank you, Yasmin. This was fantastic. We'll do it again soon. Anything I can do to help you, let me know, all right?
Thank you.
Thanks. The day was phenomenal when there was no time for some B-roll. It was just back-to-back meetings. I could not get Tel Aviv University on camera because that was just, more of a business conversation. But, Yasmin was it was just an amazing day. And tomorrow is going to be equally amazing. See you then.